I think you should give up on manifesting. I think you should give up on raising your vibration. I think you should give up on spirituality, because behind the scenes, for most people, they're doing the manifesting and the spirituality and the raising vibration because they want to get something. Whether it's to get something in the material world or it's to get to a high state of spirituality, there's a getting and a seeking in the idea of pursuing these alternative realities. When we do that, we are implying that we are separate from the thing and that we have to grow into something. Now, we live in a 3D reality where we have to create these habits and goals in order to reach a certain place in life and facilitate the reality that we want. But we got to realize that the only thing that's stopping you from being in a higher state of spirituality or manifesting the reality that you want is the mind, it's the ego, it's the narratives in the brain, it's the belief systems, the BS, it's the identities, it's the thought forms, it's the emotions, it's the values that we have, and that creates our perception of reality. And so when people are talking about manifesting, law of attraction and spirituality, they are adding to the conditioning of your mind and actually preventing you from experiencing your wholeness and your fullness. With going for raising your vibration and manifesting and higher levels of spirituality, sometimes in the pursuit of the thing, whether that be spirituality, manifesting, raising your vibration, we have the potential to open new doors, which can actually lead to new problems and benefits. And so let me give you an example of that. You watched the movie The Secret like I did, and it exposed me to a new idea, a new paradigm, a new way of operating in my reality. And this is only my experience, maybe you've experienced this too, where I started getting attached to the law of attraction. I started to get attached to positive thinking. I started to get attached to my thoughts. Oh no, I'm thinking negative, I've got to worry about it. I started to get attached to the way that other people were behaving because they were now behaving negative and I saw them as negative, whereas before I didn't care at all. My ignorance was bliss. Now it's like, okay, I'm judging. I'm focused on what they're doing and I'm allowing it now to affect me, which is making me feel bad. And so can you see how when you expose yourself to something new, sometimes it can create new problems? You know the song, more money, more problems. So a lot of us wish for more money, more success, but we don't realize what comes along with that. And we are chasing these ideas and these concepts and the things that we want to manifest and raising our vibration, not realizing that it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. I mean, we can go ahead and create our reality that is really positive and feels good and a good experience. I mean, I would say I've been able to do that for myself, but it's not because I'm somehow in a new reality and I'm allowing that new reality to make me feel good. I've realized to let go of all of this stuff. I've realized to give up on all of this stuff and realize the law of attraction is me, raising your vibration is me. Spirituality is me. And when I say me, I mean the true me, the I, the isness, the third eye, the enlightenment, the samadhi, the nirvana, the non-duality. I realize that I'm all of these things now. I'm not my mind. I'm not my body. I'm not my ego. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my values. I'm not my identities. I'm not any of that. I'm the one that can see all of this. And this is a state of pure consciousness. I'm not going to say I'm always there. Sometimes I have my challenges in life and I get stuck back in the ego, I get stuck back in my mind, but that is also okay. As long as I bring myself back, I become aware of it, and it's okay that I'm feeling negative right now, which isn't actually negative, which isn't actually what we think it is. We see it as something bad when it's just negative. Negative is not bad or good, and positive is not good or bad, just is. So I can experience that reality and see that life is okay. Are there parts of me when I'm feeling bad wanting me to feel different? Absolutely. But because I'm conscious and I'm able to be aware, and so can you, just be aware that, okay, going through the rainy season right now or the rainy day right now, and that's completely fine. I'm going to let those clouds pass. I'm going to process my emotion, and that's completely fine. I'm not asking it to change. I'm not asking it to be different. I'm residing in it. Most people would say, well, try to change it as fast as possible. You don't want to stay there in depression or sadness or whatever it is. What I'm saying is to experience it. What we do is we push it away and avoid it and try to alienate it in a way. I guess fortunately and unfortunately, I don't know which way you want to put it. Is the glass half empty or half full? For me, I choose negative to be what it is. It's not good or bad. And this is going and stepping into non-duality where there's no labels. You're not putting a label on a thing, on an emotion, on a thought. And we could look at that as positive, but it's more neutral. It's more isness. It's more no polarity. It's non-duality. And we can fall into the trap of trying to fight our thoughts and trying to change them. But we got to realize that too, as awareness, as pure awareness, pure consciousness, as isness. If you was to live life vicariously, or if God was allowed to live vicariously through you, how would you operate? If you were God experiencing itself in human form, which you are, by the way, and I hope you know that, then how would you operate? It's like you wouldn't judge a negative emotion as bad and like, I'm feeling like this, and then there's all these thoughts and like, no, it just is what it is, you know, it's what I'm going through right now. And I don't mean to make it sound like we're kind of like diminishing our problems and our challenges. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we label it as heavy, difficult, challenging, hard. I don't want to go through this right now. We label it that. And so it becomes more of that narrative and we feel and experience it more. So we can say we can feel a strong emotion or a very shallow emotion, but in reality, it's just emotion. We rate it. We like to measure things in our reality, and you cannot be measured. Your emotions cannot be measured. Your thoughts cannot be measured. And I don't mean in a scientific, put the EFF, whatever it's called on your, on the, you know, EG, whatever machines and scanning your brain. What I don't mean measured in that way. What I'm saying is we're putting definitions on things. We are putting identities on things. We are attaching ourselves to things because we have, this is big, this is small, this is easy, this is hard. What if it just is? To your brain, yes, it might feel like, oh, this is intense, what I'm feeling right now. It's intense, it's very strong. But what if you just step back a little bit into God consciousness, into awareness, and just take away that label that is difficult and that is hard, and just allow that emotion to be there no matter how strong or weak it is. This goes to my next point, which is if we are the universe expressing itself in human form, if we are oneness, if we are the isness, if we are God, if we are these things, why would I need to raise my vibration? There's no need to raise your vibration. We need to raise the vibration for the ego. And the way that we raise our vibration is, the narrative right now is that I need to feel positive and feel good. That's for your ego pleasure, ego feeling good. This is the right way to do things. That's the ego playing itself out, creating these narratives and stories. You don't need to raise your vibration. We have a heart, and the heart beats. Have you ever heard the saying, learn it off by heart? Why do you say learn it off by heart? We say learning off by heart because the heart beats automatically, right? We don't need to consciously control the heart. It just does its thing. It just beats. The drum just constantly beats. And this is consistent, okay? We don't even need to think about it. It's consistent. However, our emotions and our thoughts are inconsistent. Why we're so focused on trying to control our emotions and our thoughts when they are predominantly results of our conditioning. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to make this completely clear. I do reprogramming work. I do shifting work. I do identity shifting. I do all of these things, and I teach all of these things in my Awaken program, but I don't teach that stuff until month 3 of the program. The reason why is because I want people to acknowledge and realize that they are none of that. You're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts, you're not your beliefs. Once you can rise to that level of consciousness, you are already what we call high vibrational frequency. Now, going back to the heart, right? The heart is automatically doing its thing. And so really the one thing that we need to do is reprogram the heart. I know that sounds strange. We're focused on reprogramming our brains and trying to manifest our reality, but no one's talking about how the heart has 40,000 neurons and it has its own memory separate from the brain. No one's talking about how the heart communicates with the brain more than the brain communicates to the heart. No one's talking about how the heart's electromagnetic energy is 60 times more powerful than the electromagnetic energy of the brain. No one's talking about the heart being the first organ to grow in the human body. No one's talking about the heart being feminine. Nobody's talking about the power of the heart. So when you can change the frequency, okay, and when you heal your heart and you heal its traumas, wounds, hardships, breakups, divorces, when you heal that in the heart, your vibration goes up. And I'm not talking about feeling good here. I'm not talking about thinking positive. I'm not even talking about feeling different. You might not feel anything at all when you shift the frequency of your heart, but it's working on what we call a higher vibrational frequency without requiring us to feel good or think positive. Feeling good, thinking positive is a secondary tool that we get to utilize in order to navigate our reality, in order to create habits, to achieve our goals, to navigate our reality much easier. They are tools, not the core. And so what I teach people is to shift their core vibration by healing their heart. And I'm not talking about the heart chakra. I'm talking about the physical heart. So once you've changed the frequency of the heart, that allows you to play. And when I say play, you can allow your emotions to play, your thoughts to play. They can do whatever they like. It doesn't matter. Even you can practice this right now and just let your emotions play. I've spoken about this in other videos. You don't have to necessarily feel good. It's secondary to having a healed heart and having that frequency of your heart, the electromagnetic energy of your heart, purely working the way that it should be working. I know what I'm saying sounds a little bit crazy and a little bit backwards, or maybe you understand what I'm saying here, but ultimately what I'm saying is this is the first fundamental step to manifesting, or the law of attraction, or spirituality, to recognize that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not your emotions, you're not any of these things. You are pure consciousness, pure awareness, isness, God, oneness. You are Christ consciousness. You are all of these things now. You are nirvana. You are non-duality. That is where you operate from. Then, if you choosing from that place, you want to choose the reality you want to be in. Not try to create it, not try to manifest it, not try to bring it into your reality. I chose that reality, and that's my reality. And that's it, nothing more. Then you can choose, I choose to feel good from pure consciousness, not from the ego. I choose to feel better. I choose to raise my emotional vibration. I choose to think positive thoughts. I choose this reality and this reality and this reality from pure consciousness, in the way that God would do it, not in the way that your mind would do it, the ego would do it, not based on duality, but based on Christ consciousness, isness, samadhi, enlightenment. And just want to be very clear, because people post in the comments, so you're saying you're enlightened? I'm not saying I'm enlightened. What I'm saying is I've experienced states of enlightenment. And once you experience states of enlightenment, you get to better understand what I'm talking about. And you'll realize that actually none of this actually matters. None of it actually matters when you've experienced pure consciousness. And that everything that you think, everything that you feel just is. Every single emotion that we label negative, positive, good, bad is God. Your negative emotions is God too. Do not deny the aspect of life which is negative. Don't even label it negative. It is God, and we got to experience that. We think God is good. No, God is not good. God is just is. It's both left, right, up, down, yin, yang. It's both collapsed oneness. And so we have to celebrate that rather than being at toleration with it. I tolerate my negative emotions. I don't want to feel my negative emotions. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to be in a low vibrational frequency. This is the absence of what we call spirituality when we deny this aspect of spirituality. Am I saying to go and do these weird rituals with the megalomaniacs and the, people who control the world and stuff like this? No, I'm not saying to do any of that. Like, that's going a bit too far to the extreme right now. What I'm saying right now is that we want things to be good because we've been told good is good, and it's not entirely true. And we need to accept that it just is. The same as bad is just is. Start seeing everything through the eyes of Source, through the eyes of God. Start seeing everything, every single thing, as if you was God. Start seeing things in this way. Just want to be very clear. Gavin has narratives and stories, right? My ego has narratives and stories, and I get caught up in things and get caught up in pendulums and I get stuck in them. And I live as a human being as well. I'm not some sort of weird enlightened individual guru or whatever it is. I have challenges and problems in my life too, but I accept them. It is what it is. It's a part of life. The trees right now is autumn. The leaves are falling off. It's the same as our emotions. We need to embrace. We need to learn to embrace the good, but we need to learn to embrace the chaos. We need to embrace the feminine, and it's totally fine. So how do you start healing your heart? You got to heal your traumas. You got to heal your heartbreaks. You got to heal the stuff that you've been through in the past. And there's so many different modalities to support you with doing that. But I also teach it in my course called Awaken, where I take you on a 6-month journey to transforming your life. So if you're someone that wants to join Awaken and you want to continue this journey with me, the link will be in the description. We're going to show you how to get into states of enlightenment, how to experience that non-duality and really manifest the reality that you want. We're collapsing manifesting and spirituality and bringing them together.